Hello guys, how are you doing? It's your boy Dave Partner. Today we are going to be writing a smart contract to launch cryptocurrency. Alright, so you'll be learning how to write smart contract and launch cryptocurrency on Binance Smart Chain. Okay, this is not a beginner programming tutorial, so I expect that you already know at least one programming language to at least beyond the basics. Alright, so if you have already learned JavaScript, Python, PHP, whatever, it's nice. That's the right time to take this tutorial, okay?
Alright guys, before we continue, I just want to let you know that if you are looking for already made scripts instead of writing this whole thing by yourself, we have already written scripts and a website completely built platforms for launching your own cryptocurrency in minutes. Okay, so you download our script, you buy a domain name and the hosting, and you upload it there and you're ready. Alright, everything is already working perfectly. So I'm just gonna quickly show you one of the scripts we have. The rest you can get them in the link below. Alright, there's a link below. Even plugins for your WordPress platforms and mobile apps for your crypto platforms, we've done all that for you. So if you want to launch your own cryptocurrency right away, just use the link below and you will get this. So we have this one I'm going to show you has an admin demo. There's a customer demo for your customers to come and buy your tokens. Alright, and then there's a website where they will see details of your token before buying it. Okay, so and of course you can test out the demo and be sure before you buy, but follow the link below and get it. So I'm going to quickly show you through this. The first one is the landing page where your customers land and then they see that you're selling your token. So everything already done. So the name of your token already done, everything. Okay, how many days, minutes, hours remaining for you to sell, the page, token team, details, blog, contact page. They can log in or register or read your white paper. All right, and the whole page already set up. You just have to edit these numbers and set it to yours. Change these write-ups. Okay, so once they click login or register, they land on the customer demo page, and then there's an admin page. So let me show you through the admin page. So look at the admin dashboard. Everything here, there is KYC. Users can upload their international passport, their driver's license for identity purpose, so that you can be in compliance with the laws of many countries. There is a two-factor authentication. All right, you can lodge your ICO, do some settings, website settings. There's referral program, so that once your ICO launches, people can refer their friends and gain more of your coins and tokens. There's a mailing list settings, multiple payment methods, so many different, even credit card. Okay, and then there's an API for this that you can use for your mobile apps. I told you there are mobile apps and a whole lot of things. There you can use multiple languages, so you can launch your token in many different countries at the same time. Now you can monitor transactions and how many Ethereum has been spent in your platform and a whole lot of things. You can monitor them, and total number of users. Okay, how many users came last week and signed up, amount collected. Okay, this is 5 point something million. You can see everything here. How many in Litecoin? You can use so many different cryptocurrencies. You can accept so many cryptocurrencies as payment methods. Okay, then you can accept fiat, which is your regular USD. People can pay you using USD, Euro, or GBP. Okay, everything done here, everything already working perfectly. Okay, you don't need to hire a developer. Now, if you don't know how to host your own website, then you can hire a developer or reach out to me. I'll put my WhatsApp number in the description section below. Just click on it and then reach out on WhatsApp. Once you have got this script, make sure you already have this script. Okay, everything you have got it and you have it ready, then I can set it up for you. Okay, so let's get back to what we were doing. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications on this channel.
Okay, so first things first, let's create a folder. we have to create a folder where our project will run. As you can see on my screen already, I'm using a MacBook, but if you're using a Windows system, it's perfect. It will still work. Okay. First thing I want you to do is, if you're in Windows, do not use your default Windows command prompt. Use the Git Windows command prompt, because it runs some Linux commands, so that you can be sure that the commands I run here will also run in your system. So first of all, open a new tab and search for git scm, git scm. If you're using Windows, but if you're using Mac or Linux, you're good. So go to downloads and download the version for Windows, install it in your system. Okay, I'm using Mac, that's why I'm saying this. Once you install it, go to the start menu and type git. Okay, now look at this too. Git clients. Okay, you don't need all these. All right, you just need the first one. So download just for Windows, and then you're good to go. Okay, all right, download and install, and then you're good to go. So once it says installed, go to your start menu by your lower left and type git. You will see the git command prompt there. Click on it and it will open. And the way you know that it's different is because it's colored. All right, well colored. So, but if you're in Mac, we're good to go. So go to your folder where you would normally create your web projects. Okay, and create a new folder. In my own, I'll do pwd so that you'll see where mine is. Mine is at users Mac. I created a folder where I dump all my projects. It's called projects, just for my personal use. All right, yours could be called anything. In fact, yours could be in your desktop. Okay, so we're going to make a new directory for the project we want to code. So I'll do make dir. So that's the command for making a new directory, and I'll give space, and then I'll call this project anything. For now, we can call it BSC Binance Smart Chain. What else? Underscore. Let me say. Okay, so I could call it ICO or crowd sale. Okay, tutorial course. So this folder name doesn't really mean anything. Okay, so now we're going to get into the folder cd bsc. I'll rather up here and just cd into the folder. Okay, so there we are. Now we are going to install. First of all, we need to use yarn. All right, that's the one I'm a little more comfortable with. So we're going to install yarn. If you don't already have yarn in your system, first of all, type yarn --v to be sure that you have yarn. And as you can see, it's even installing the yarn for me. All right. Let's do this. Yarn --version. Okay, hit enter. It says 1.22.17. So I already have yarn installed, but if you don't have it, what you're going to do is npm. At least make sure you have npm, right? npm version, like this. Now if you don't have npm, that's another thing you have to do. So you have to go to your browser and say download Node.js. Okay, so download Node.js and home. Go to home and download this one. All right, just know that by the time we are watching this video in the future, we would have been in a higher version of Node.js. Doesn't matter, download it. So that then restart your command prompt. You have to close your command prompt after installing Node.js and restart. Okay, now you can run npm --v to be sure you have npm. And then if you run yarn --version and you don't see any number here, that means you don't have yarn. So you have to install yarn. You do npm yarn install npm install -global yarn. Okay, this is how to install yarn or upgrade it. If you already have it like me, if I run this, it's gonna upgrade my version. Okay, so now we have yarn installed. We're going to use yarn, okay, to install an npm to install and set up some things. So now we have it installed. We're going to install. We'll do inside make sure you are inside your folder for the project. You do yarn init, okay, and truffle init. Okay, so there's something called truffle. Now if you don't have truffle installed, you have to also install truffle. So download truffle. Truffle helps you with most of the commands you need with your coding your smart contract. So go to Truffle. So sweet tools for smart contract and blah blah blah. So we need to download Truffle. All right. So where is the download link? So here, click on tutorial. If you scroll down a little, you will see how to install Truffle. So you have to run this in your command prompt first to make sure that you install Truffle, which is you run it here, which is type npm install -g Truffle. You hit enter. Okay, there's also something called Ganache that comes with Truffle. It's like the equivalent of a server, a database sort of. Okay, if you're coming from click on this, right? So, or basically visit trufflesuite.com/ganache. Okay, you download it. So it looks like this. Just download and install. You'll be needing it for that much later. All right. So depending on the one for your system. So now we have installed Truffle, and as usual, once you install something, you close your command prompt and restart it. Okay. So I just cleared my command prompt. So let's do the yarn init. Pay attention to this. Yarn init-y. Cross-check the one you wrote earlier. Yarn init-y and Truffle init. Okay, hit enter, and you wait a few seconds, and boom. Okay, it is done. Starting init and done in 0.5 seconds, and we're good. All right. So now the next thing we want to do. All right. So let's do the next installation. We'll do yarn add. I have to expand this so you see the full what I want to type. Okay, so all right, so we expand here. All right, so yarn add. Okay, add Openzeppelin. So Openzeppelin is like a framework that helps us write correct smart contracts easier, right? So yarn add Openzeppelin /contracts, okay, plural, at, then you can choose a version. For now, the version we're gonna work with is 2.5.0. okay, add Truffle, okay, HD wallets. So just to make sure that this tutorial works perfectly well for you, use the same version that I'm using, and once you're done, you can, if you're building your next smart contract, you can install any other version of Openzeppelin. Okay, all right. So HD wallet provider, then you hit enter, and just wait it out. It will take some minutes, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be all joy. Alright, so now it's done. We have to open our Visual Studio Code. So in case you don't know what that is, so you just type VS Code. You need to download it. VS Code download. VS Code is just an editor. So you click here, download Visual Studio Code. Alright, it's downloading. It's opening. So once it opens, you download for your system. It's free. It's an editor by Microsoft for anybody that wants to code. It's one of the most powerful editors in the world. So once you download and install your Visual Studio Code, alright, make sure you close and reopen your command prompt. Now you can run this, okay, and make sure that you're inside your folder for your course, okay, for this course. Then you type code dots, okay, this will open Visual Studio Code for you. Now if you're in Mac and you install Visual Studio Code without dragging it into your applications folder, this code dot will not work for you. You will have to manually go to this folder and be able and open Visual Studio Code in that folder, or you open the Visual Studio Code and go to files and open this folder. Now once this folder is open, these are the basic files for our project. Now the first thing we want to do is to modify the Truffle config. Now if you scroll down, first thing you notice is here that Truffle config commented out a number of things that we could use. The first one is here, this. So let's uncomment it. So hold command key on your keyboard, or control ? Or command ? depending on if you're using Mac or Windows. So that's it. Now let's add a constant, alright, for our test, alright. So do const here BSC test. Okay, give it an empty quote. All right. So in case you've not noticed, this is JavaScript, all right, .js. So you can write JavaScript here, which means even if I leave the closing quote, you'll be fine, all right. Closing semicolon. So what value do we put here? The Binance testnet RPC. So to find it, just go to Google and type Binance Smart Chain RPC, testnet RPC. Hit enter, and the first result that says JSON RPC endpoint, fine. And we scroll down. So all these things are RPC endpoints, but the one I'm gonna copy is the one that the chain ID is 97, and just copy any of this. So I'll just take the first one, copy, and then we come here and insert it. Okay, so we're good. Now we have to scroll down to this place and then uncomment out. Alright, so here once you scroll down to this line, you have to uncomment this. Okay, so we uncomment up to this place, from private to this place. Hold control question mark or control command question mark. Alright, so it's uncommented. Now the first thing we have to do is to change this. Alright, so we're going to change it to that variable we declared up there. So remember this variable BSC test, which contains the RPC. Okay, so we'll do BSC test. So instead of pasting the RPC there again, so we'll do BSC test. Okay, we're good. Now the chain ID, remember the chain ID is 97. Okay, because we saw it on their website, 97 chain ID. Okay. Alright, remember I told you to download Ganache, and you downloaded it. So make sure you start Ganache in your system. Just go to your applications and start Ganache. So I'm gonna start mine. I'm using Mac. Look at Ganache, click on it, and it starts. So Ganache is like your testnet, okay? The equivalent of your local server. Alright, so it kind of simulates the Ethereum and possibly the Binance Smart Chain. Alright, and then it gives you some of the things that you would need, some private keys, some Ethereum. Alright, so Ganache has started, and the first thing we want to do is to click quick start. Okay, do quick start, and every time Ganache starts, it gives you something called mnemonic. That's what we're looking for. Mnemonic, that's a set of words. Look at this. It auto-generated this set of words, and this set of words is kind of a passphrase, a password. Okay, it also gives you about is it 10 Ethereum addresses with 100 ETH each. Now each of these addresses has a total transaction count, and if you click on this key, you see that it has a private key. Now these are not real Ethereum addresses. Okay, so there's the address and then the private key. So this is what we need, but I would want to generate this from the command prompt. Okay, the command line. Alright, instead of copying this one here. So from the command prompt, we can just type Ganache -CLI. So Ganache CLI, if you click on it and enter, and we don't have it, so let's install it. So let's do the simple thing any programmer would do, and that is to do npm install -g, that is for global, Ganache CLI. Okay, hit enter and make sure you have your internet on. Okay, so as you can see, it says after running npm install g Ganache, okay, it says added 1 package and audited 102 packages. Okay, so here we can, of course, you can get some warnings and vulnerabilities and whatever. Okay, so let's do Ganache CLI. Okay, so what Ganache CLI does is it starts Ganache but for your command prompt. Okay, as long as there are no errors, and I think we have errors here. Okay, we have some errors. So let's try the two things it suggested. If it doesn't work out, we switch to Yarn and try to install it with Yarn. If it doesn't work out, then we stick to our normal npm, the Ganache UI. Alright. So the first thing it says from the errors that we should run is npm fund, and after that we run npm audit fix -- force. Okay, npm font, and let's see what happens. Okay, that does this. So we'll do npm audit fix -- false. Okay, and there are errors which I don't have time to go through now. But if you go to npm.js, okay, on the package manager website, you will see that you can install it using npm or you can install it using yarn. Okay, so since we have yarn in our system, let's try the yarn method. Like I said, we have many options of getting ganache. Let's try this, and this looks like it's gonna work. Okay, so this looks like it's installed without errors. Look at installed ganache CLI. Okay, cool. So let's run ganache CLI and see what goes down there. Okay, still throwing errors. I think we're gonna give up at this moment. Let's go with this. All right, so now I've started ganache, and make sure you don't close ganache, because every time you restart it, it changes this and it changes all of this every time you close and restart it. So in case you ever close your system while taking this course, all right, and restart, you have to repeat this process I want to do now, which is to copy this key. All right, copy this key, and then right click and copy. Now once you copy it, you want to come to your project and create a new file here in your project root folder. New file. I'll call that file .secret. So how did I come up with the name? Look at this. Inside the truffle.js truffle.config.js, look at this. Truffle is trying to read a file called .secret, and what is it trying to read there? It's trying to read something called mnemonic. All right, and that mnemonic is what Ganache has provided. Look at this mnemonic. I can't zoom it, but you can see mnemonic, and that's this set of keywords. These are words that make up a password. Okay. All right. So click on it. So this is just for test. In a real life, we'll get this mnemonic from MetaMask, for instance. Okay. So now we have only this mnemonic here. One other thing you could have is to save. If we had got, if our truffle was working, yours might work, don't get me wrong. So if our truffle was working, it would have generated a mnemonic and these keys too. Now if you're wondering why my truffle did not work, it's because of the Node.js version. Okay, I'm using a higher Node.js version. So if I do Node V, okay, if I do Node -- version, says I'm using Node 17. I don't just want to waste your time, but what I could do is switch to Node 14 and try this installing Ganache CLI again. All right. So we're going to deal with this key. So if it gave you this key too in your command line, what you can do is to copy the key and put it in another file so that you can always make reference to it, install it in another file. But we don't mind. If we restart our Ganache, we have to copy the new address. Okay. All right. So let's get back to truffle config.js. If you come to the bottom here, we have to enable this. All right, so that it can connect. So that's it here under compilers. Mine is already enabled. Okay. Make sure that this is commented out. All right. In yours too. So also this is under compilers. So if you go up a little here, that has private, I want to rename this to BSC testnet. Okay, BSC testnet. All right, so that we can make reference to it from our command prompt. All right, so let's start creating our smart contract. So if you click here, you see that a default contract has already been created for you. Now we have to create our own. Don't mind this error. All right, don't really mind this error. It just means nothing. So we can fix it if you read. Look at what it says. It says source file requires different compiler version. Current compiler is 0.4.17. Look at this. Here says 0.4.22. So basically, this line in smart contracts means in Solidity means that the Solidity version that will process the rest of this code must be between 0.4.22 0.22 to 0.9.0. So what do? We have to reduce this to 17, okay, so that it can contain what we're talking about. Now every line in your Solidity smart contract must have this. All right, so I'm going to copy it. Now we're going to start writing our own smart contract. So right click, new file, and we call it anything. What are we going to call our smart contracts? I'm going to call it BT for brain time, which is the name of my channel, BT token. And smart contract files end with SOL, so that is .solidity, so BT token .sol. So I'll paste this. So the first line is a comment that tells Solidity the license of your code. All right, so in this case MIT. You can also call it unlicensed, sensed, okay, doesn't really matter. So MIT, and now we can start writing. Now since we're using Openzeppelin has a lot of libraries that are ready, that you can use to write your smart contract and not make mistakes. Things you would have done manually, Openzeppelin will help you to do it automatically. So the first is that we're going to import 3 Openzeppelin libraries. Okay, so remember that you can read about Openzeppelin online. So if you want to read more, maybe before or after this tutorial, go to Openzeppelin website, click Openzeppelin, and you will see that a lot of companies are using them: Brave, Ethereum Foundation, Coinbase, and so on. All right, so you could read more about the contracts. All right, look at their documentations. If I click here, kind of guides you. So I just want to show you where I'm getting what I'm getting. All right, so on the left part you can see, just read through. All right, on the left part you can see learn, and then setting up a node project, developing smart contracts, deploying. And so Openzeppelin is just a way to write your smart contract instead of you just writing everything manually. So they make it easier, shorter for you to write your smart contracts. All right, so look at developing smart contracts, and then you can read more. Okay, they're using hard hat and so on. Okay, at the end of the day, it's just way easier and more professional and guides you against errors. Okay, guides you against multiple errors. So we're going to be importing 3 of their libraries. So here we'll do import. Okay, the first one is double quote // okay, node modules. Now I don't think, okay, we have node modules yet, so we're trying to drive into this node underscore modules. Okay, so we'll do at Openzeppelin contracts token ERC20. okay, so ERC20 / ERC20.sol. okay, we do the same thing for, so I'll do Ctrl+C, Ctrl+VV. all right, so that's a way to duplicate in node. Note that this is not dash, this is underscore. Okay, just not underscore but dot, right, dot. Okay, basically that's how to navigate around folders. The dot means that when BT token should move outside to this folder and then locate this. That's what the 2 dot means. Okay, so we're going to change some things. Okay, under contracts, just make sure your spelling is correct. I did 2s. Make sure your spelling is correct. Openzeppelin, double P. all right, under /contracts, then /token, that /ERC20, and then here you do ERC20 detailed. Okay, ERC20 detailed .so, and this one is under contracts. This is GSN, and there is a context.so. So this like this, right? So make sure that you put the ending comma, okay, semicolon. Now let's start writing the actual contract. Okay, We're going to write contracts among several files just to make our code really neat. So we'll start with contracts. Now, if you don't know how to write a contract, or if everything I'm doing is totally alien to you, just know that it's very normal. Okay, it's very, very normal. And by the time you write 2-3 contracts, you should be able to figure these things out. So we are actually extending. This is how you extend another class. Your contract, you're extending other contracts. So there are 3 contracts. We're extending 3 of them here. See, context, ERC20, and detailed. That's how you extend in smart contract. Now, if you're launching a live smart contract, feel free to reach out to me so that I can help out, probably help your team out. Okay, and make sure that everything is fine. Look at this, realdevpartner@gmail.com. That's my email. All right, so here, not every, but your smart contract should have a constructor. Okay, and the constructor should be, now if you're wondering how to add a comment in your smart contracts, you can use // or // okay. I treated that in another course. You can find the link in the description section below. So you start a constructor. Okay, the key thing here is to make sure that your spellings are correct, and we define a string. Whenever you're defining a string, you have to tell the compiler, all right, Solidity, where to save it on a blockchain. So if you say it should be saved on a memory, it means that it's just temporary. But if you say it should be saved on storage, then it's permanent. So uint is the equivalent of integer in like other programming languages, but you can use uint or you can use uint256. They are the same. Okay, initial supply. So we're defining the key variables that will define our code. Now, what I don't understand is why this is constructor. So why is this not colored properly? Okay, got it. The reason is that constructor is actually a function. Let me pull this down. The constructor is a function, so we are making the mistake. You know, this is how you define functions. Okay, then you pass these parameters. So it's the parameters that we mistakenly passed into the body. Okay, so we'll pass it here. So this is round brackets. All right, round brackets in the constructor, and then so here, just to make sure that our code looks neat, initial supply, and once we're done, we can put the scope. All right, we say that it's public and ERC20 detailed. Then we can put name. So the ERC20 detailed is a modifier. That's what it is called. When a function has another function that must be run in Solidity, all right, you could have a function like this. Let's say the function name is let's say main token function. Okay, this main token function, you could have it like this. This is what a function normally looks like. But look, you can actually have a modifier here. Okay, a modifier here. This is another function. So let's say we have another function here that says check if token is not 0. Okay, so this is a function that, and this function just checks and returns true or false, right? This function checks and returns true or false if token is not 0. So when we are running this function, we can actually import this one here. We can say something like this. All right, we can do it in Solidity. So before this one runs, this one will run, and if this one returns false, then it's gonna throw, it will not complete this other one. Okay, so this other function is called a modifier and is defined a little differently, but generally the type, it is called a modifier. Now you can check my other tutorials in the link below to learn more about this actual basics of smart contract. Now we're trying to just launch our token, so it will have a symbol 18. So where was this modifier defined? Inside here already. Okay, we installed it when we installed Openzeppelin. Okay, so basically what we're saying is that our symbol, we're going to pass in, when we call this BT token, we're going to pass in what the name of our token will be and what the symbol will be. All right, but then it should also note that the total number of decimal places is 18. Remember, 1/8 is equal to, I think, 1 with 18 zeros. Okay, of Gwei, I think they call it Wei. All right, or Wei. Okay, so 1 with 18 zeros. So we're saying that our token will have 18 zeros. Another alternative is like 9, having 9. All right, but Ethereum has 18, so it's always better to leave it at 18. Okay, so that every other thing works out of the box. So here we're going to use the mint token function, MSG sender. I think what we can do to start with is to see if there is something, an extension in VS Code in this editor that will help us with writing Openzeppelin. So if we come here under extensions, Openzeppelin. Okay. Another thing you can do, it doesn't exist, but another thing you can do is to get the one that helps with Solidity. You see, Ethereum Solidity. So that's a Visual Studio extension, so you install it. Usually the first one will do a good job. So it helps you to auto suggest an IntelliSense with Solidity. So let's get back while it's installing. Okay, so here we're doing MSG sender, that is message sender, comma, initial supply. Okay. Alright, this may not make sense, but once we start making call to it from another file, it will all come together and make a lot of sense. Alright. Alright, one more thing, the Solidity extension did not install. Okay, for some reason it failed and it's asking me to try downloading. So I will try the second extension. So here, just drag this. Okay, and click here. Solidity, try the second one. Okay, and get back to our coding. So now we're going to try to create another smart contract. So that one is just the beginning. Alright, so here, let's create another smart contract file. So in case you want to see what's inside here, you can just hold your control key, and click. You understand? Same with in your Windows. Alright, hold control key and click. Alright, click. Alright, and it will show you to open the file for you. So here, let's right click new file. And we're going to say BT token, that's brain temple token, and we're going to say BT brain temple token, that's BTT crowd sale. Remember that you can .sol, you can call yours anything. So as usual, we start with this, import the two, come here and paste. Okay. Now, secondly, we can import the file we need with Solidity. So we come here, copy the first one. So if I click here on any part of the line and Control C or Command C on my keyboard, I've copied the line. Now come here and paste it. Then I'll edit because I'm lazy. I don't want to type everything one by one. So here we are making reference to the crowd sale, crowdsale.sol. crowdsale.sol. Okay, so we're good. So contract BT token, okay, crowd sale. So you should know that the name of the contract should match the name of the file. It's just convention, not by force, but convention. Okay, did we call it BT token? No, we call it BTT. BTT crowd sale is crowd sale. So that's the way to say extends the crowd sale function here. So you need to know that the last one is capital letter. All right, The last C here is capital letter. Okay. Alright, so here we open, and then another constructor. Your classes should have a constructor in. So here we do uint256, which is the same thing as uint, doesn't matter. I say rate. We do address, payable, wallet. Okay, then IERC20 token. Okay, that's the type of token. So here we can then say we close. The function scope is public, and I have to say this, that in Solidity, alright, in Solidity, if you define a function, for instance, in PHP, you have to define the scope first. You can say public function, okay, public function, then you mention the name of the function, which could be crowd sale. This is how most programming languages would approach it. But here in Solidity, you don't tell it that it's a function, but then the scope is after you've defined the function, before you put the bracket like this. You understand? So in case you're seeing this public here, so that's how Solidity works. So we're going to say public crowd sale. So crowd sale, okay, rate, wallet. So what crowd sale now is a modifier, right? Remember I talked to you about modifier, a function that must run before another one runs. Okay, then we'll do this. So which means this constructor is kind of empty for now. Alright, so I have to close all these empty spaces. My editor doesn't like it. Now depending on your version of Solidity, it could have some sort of some of these tiny little warnings and errors. It's perfectly fine. Alright, so our next challenge is to come to migrations and create a migration file. Now, if this is the first time of writing this kind of code and creating migration, you should know that the migration files are numbered, alright? So the number tells the compiler which migrations to run first. So this one is 1_ initial token. So we're going to call ours anything, but it has to be 2_ something else, okay? In this case, I'll call it 2_ deploy. Okay, it's a JavaScript file, so it's gonna end with JS. So inside the file, we'll write some code to specify, give the specifics of our coin. But I want to copy what's here, alright, because it's largely the same. So I'll copy what's in the initial migration file, paste here. So this says migrations, but we're gonna call it the name of our token. Okay, ours is BT token, okay. And then what's the name of the, instead of migrations, we'll call it BT token. Okay. Then we have to create another constant here. I will Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V because I'm lazy, right? We'll say BT, we're talking about this other one, okay? BT crowd sale, BTT crowd sale crowd sale, sorry. And then artifacts require, we'll call it BTT crowd sale. Okay, so here we're going to say module export, all right, function deployer, and we have to add some things like network accounts. These are extra parameters. And then here we say await. In blockchain, because the transaction takes some time, it's best to use await. All right, once you make a request, you wait for it. So await BTT token. Okay, BTT token. And then interestingly, we have to add other things. The full name of the token, remember here we're taking the name of the token, the symbol, and the initial supply. Okay, so that's what we're passing in the migrations. In the migrations here. So we're passing in the full name of the token, brain temple token. Okay, that's the full name. So what would the short name be? I'll say BT token, whatever. And then the number initial supply, that is how many tokens do you want to mint. Alright, how many tokens? And now we want to mint 1 with 18 zeros. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, good. Alright, like if what I'm writing is like magic to you, just know I'm getting it from Openzeppelin website that I showed you earlier. Okay, that's where I'm getting it. So token, just go there and peruse the website await. Okay, BT token dot deployed. So we're gonna deploy it. Alright, and once we deploy it, we now have access to its functions. Alright, once we deploy the token to the blockchain, we have access to the functions. So which function do we have? We just have only a constructor there. Alright, but if we had other functions here, it means we now have access to the functions via this token variable. Alright, so await deployer dot deploy. Okay, BT token crowd sale, right? BT crowd sale. This is what we are waiting here. Okay, slash 5 slash account. So we're trying to see how many accounts will be created. Okay, say token dot address. All right, so what's the address? So we go back here. Oops. Okay, so const crowd sale equal to await. So the same thing, we deploy the BT token smart contract, BT crowd sale smart contract, and deployed. So once we deploy that too, we have access to its properties, and we'll say token dot transfer. Okay, crowd sale dot address. Okay, await token dot total supply. Remember where the total supply is, total supply. Okay, so if you're wondering where the total supply is, token is we deployed this smart contract. This is the smart contract. We deployed it to the blockchain. Okay, and now we can say, and we saved it in a variable token. So we can say token dot total supply, which is token dot the total supply of the coins. All right. All right. So here what's happening is this number here says how many BT tokens for one way. All right. So 5 BT tokens for each way. That's what it means. I didn't do much calculations. I just put number 5, but you could do whatever, 50 BT tokens for one way. Okay. Just know that we're just making reference to this smart contract here, and the smart contract is what we are making reference to. Okay, so here it appears we wrote something wrong here, so this should be token. Okay, all right, so let's get back to this place where we're writing this code. So here we want to transfer, this is the initial address. Okay, the initial account where the tokens will be deployed to. All right, and then this is where the coins will be when the token is deployed. So we want to transfer it here to the crowd sale. Okay, so we can say transfer tokens. Okay, so this is where the transfer is happening. So the crowd sale address is where the tokens are getting transferred to, and this means that the whole tokens is what's being transferred to the crowd sale address. Okay. So once we are done, we have to go to the terminal and run 2 commands. The first one is truffle compile, so it compiles it, and then we do truffle migrate. So this migrates actually puts our code to the blockchain. Now we can open truffle console, something called truffle console, and test our code from there. So we can use this command line or any command line and use truffle console to test our code. All right, that's how you can run some code on the blockchain. So let's go to this command prompt and run truffle compile. Hit enter and wait a few seconds, and then it will compile as long as there are no errors in your code. Okay, you see, compiling your contracts, and compilation failed C. Alright, so it will tell you if there are errors. So, and where is the error coming from? It said error, truffle is currently using Solidity Sol C, okay, 0.8.10, but one or more of your contracts specify pragma solidity above 5. Okay, so we're going to find the smart contract that is erroring and fix it. All right, so if you're wondering where the erroring configuration is coming from, it's basically saying that the truffle we just installed cannot work, cannot work below this. All right, and then it's saying that the some of our smart contracts have this 0.5, but truffle was configured for 0.8. Okay, now the good thing is that it told us the files that are erroring, the smart contracts. Look at the first one, says if we come under node modules, Openzeppelin, contracts, we have context.sol. It says this. All right, now the second one, basically all these things we imported, these ones, they are using an older version of compiler. All right, so let's open them and see if there is gonna be a solution. So we open them and then we edit the file, the top of that. That's one way to solve the problem. So what do we do? Control P. Now if you don't get that error, it's perfectly fine, yours is working well. So let's go look for the files. So this one is in node modules, Openzeppelin here, and then in contracts, crowd sale, Openzeppelin contracts. Okay, crowd sale and crowd sale.sol. So this one. All right, so at the top, look at where the problem is. So we're just gonna grab one of these guys we put here, and one thing you should know is that it's never a great idea to edit node modules folder, because anytime you run npm update, it's going to revert. All right, it's going to edit these files back. So this is not a fail-proof solution, but we just have to go with it. So the next one is here under contracts token. So under node modules Openzeppelin contracts token, we have ERC20. Okay, and we have ERC20.sol, this guy, and we also have ERC20 detailed, these two guys. So let's go with this guy, ERC20.sol, ERC20 detailed. Okay, so it's just a version issue. And which other one do we have? Okay, ERC20, we did this. ERC20 detailed, we did this. Crowd sale, we did this. Context. Okay, so we'll get back and look for the one that has context. Okay, context.sol, where is okay, so under contracts we have GSN here, then we have context.sol. So now we're done, we can run our truffle compile again. But before we do that, let's see some other suggestions it had. It said, please update your truffle config or pragma statements. Okay, so either of the two. So what is truffle config? If we come here, truffle config, so here is where we can update truffle config and tell it the minimum whatever to take. Look at this, minimum version. So this is a better way, a better place to update this. All right, otherwise you do it the way I did it. But if you run npm install, if you ever run npm install in your project, it will wipe out everything we did. So this is the place to set that 0.5. okay, 0.5, this is the place to set it. So just to be sure, it says but more of your contracts, Pragma Solidity 0.50. Okay, so this is the place to set it, 0.50. So let's try here, up arrow, truffle compile, hit enter, and let's see what happens. Alright, one more correction here. Make sure you put this top arrow. Okay, this is the key above 6 on your keyboard. So if you hold shift 6, you must put it here, otherwise it will still fail, even if you have done all these edits, even if you have worked on your node modules folder, which you should never do. Here you must put up arrow and specify the version that truffle is complaining about. Okay, otherwise if there's even a slight difference in this version, truffle will still complain. For instance, if it is 0.5.1 like that, truffle will still complain. Alright, so I think we have another error somewhere. So here on line 14, where we have MSG sender, I think it should be underscore. Alright, so make sure you have it exactly like this, underscore. Okay, underscore MSG sender. So come here, run the same thing again. So truffle compile will always tell you where there are errors in your code, so it's very normal to run this and see errors. And the cool thing is that it's going to tell you where the file is and the expected location. So truffle compile has run successfully. Alright, very successful. So now we're going to run truffle migrate. Alright, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. So here we're going to run truffle deploy, and then we'll do -- network. Okay, and then we mention the name of the network, BSC testnet. So what is BSC testnet? Binance Manchate testnet that we have inside our truffle config folder. So BSC, let me search for it, BSC testnet. Okay, look at it. So it's gonna use this, and this uses BSC testnet. And if we scroll up, we see that BSC testnet is the RPC that we copy from the beginning from BSC. Okay, Binance Manchate. Alright, we'll need some Binance Binance coin for this, but let's run the truffle migrate first. Okay, so we're deploying testnets. So we'll do -- skip -- dry run. Okay, so hit enter, and if everything works well, this is gonna deploy a smart contract. Okay, first it will try to compile, then it's gonna say well done. Okay, so what we have here is it tried to compile. Look at this, we ran truffle deploy, and it tried to compile, and it ran into this error saying digital envelope routines unsupported. So what we're going to do at the end, it did something interesting. It showed us the node version we're running. So we're running node version 17.10. This is too advanced, so we're going to try and step down this node, alright, to a lower node. So I'll do nvm use 14. Okay, enter. Okay, now using node 14, so I just stepped down my node, and then I can run this. In case you don't know how to do this, I'll show you shortly, but let's okay, truffle was not even installed, so we have to install truffle on this nvm. So before we install this truffle, I want us to revert to nvm node version 14. Like I said, if this doesn't run on your command prompt, don't worry, I'll let you know how to do that. Basically, you have to install node version manager. Okay, but let's revert to 17 where we were. Okay, so it has reverted, and let's try to run the same command without skip dry run. Okay, so I'll remove this. Okay, and let's see. If that doesn't work, then we're going to install truffle on the lower node. Okay, that doesn't work. We have to get a lower version of node. So nvm use 14. Okay. So now, how did I get to nvm use? This is a node version manager. It helps you to run multiple versions of node in your system. So if you go to Google, type nvm github, alright, then you see the GitHub page of node version manager. So you click on it, and once it opens, you scroll down. So scroll down. This shows you how to use it. Okay, so this is how to switch from one version to another. This is let me see. This is how to switch from one version to another, which I've just done. This is how to check the version of node that is currently running. Okay, this is how to switch to a lower node. Okay, if you want to install another version of node, this is how to do that. Okay, so, and you should know that the error I faced trying to run truffle, you may not see it. It may not happen in yours. Okay, so this is how to install it. Just copy this and run on your command prompt. Okay, either this or this, but just start with this one. Okay, for this one to run, you need to have wget. Okay, so once you run this, it should install nvm in your command prompt. Then you close your command prompt. You have to close it and restart it. Okay, and then you type nvm. You type nvm -- version. It shows you the version of nvm. If it does this, then it means that nvm is now installed. Now you can use nvm to install any version of node you want. You can do nvm install, then you mention the version like 14, 15, whatever. Okay, so in this case, if you ever have this digital envelope, that's what you should be looking out for. It means it has issues with your node version. And now we have switched to a lower version. Let's we can do switch to a lower version. nvm use 14. Okay, so just to be sure, we're in a lower version of. Okay, now using 14 point. Okay, cool. Now we have to install truffle. Remember how we did in the beginning from the truffle site? This is how to install truffle from the truffle site. npm install g truffle. So we're installing truffle in this version of node. Okay, hopefully that's the only thing we have to install, and then we wait. Okay, so this is done. Now next thing we're going to do is to try and do the truffle compile again. It may complain about the version. We just fix it. So truffle compile. It's okay if yours does not give all these errors. Just know it's a very normal thing to see this kind of errors. So the whole compilation went successfully. So we're going to run our previous command of this. Okay, truffle deploy -- network bsc testnet -- keep dry run. Okay, hit enter. So this helps us to avoid all the errors. Okay, great. Okay, so we run it, and it ran well. Everything went well until at a point. Look at this. Everything ran well. Deploying migrations error. It said deployment failed. Now look at this. It said could not deploy due to insufficient funds. Remember I told you we have to add funds. So now let's go add funds, and it gave us the account. Okay, it has 0 weight. So remember that whenever you're deploying your smart contract to the blockchain, it's going to take some funds. Okay, so now we are not even deploying it to a real blockchain. We are deploying it to a testnet, Binance RPC, and at the end of the day, it's still complaining that we need a fake BNB. All right, so let's go. Let's copy this address. Okay, so how did we end up with this address? So let's go make some BNB. All right, so if you go to Google, you type Binance Smart Chain Faucet. Okay, Binance Smart Chain Faucet. You click on that. So it opens. It says input your Binance Smart Chain address. So you right click, paste. You paste your Binance Smart Chain address, and you say give me BNB. Okay, so this is gonna give us 1 BNB, and funding request accepted, and it's giving us 1 BNB. Okay, so it is funded. Look at 9CF, that's our own. Now it's funded. We're gonna go back and try. Okay, we run, press up arrow, it brings truffle deploy, hit enter, and then you wait again for a few seconds. Alright, there's one more error. It says await is only valid in ASIC function, and it's telling us that it won't accept the code we wrote in toDeploy.js on here. So the solution is simple. We go to toDeploy.js. Remember that we have downgraded node version, so we should expect some weird stuff. Look, we could remove it, but you know, generally in blockchain development, you want to, you know that each transaction will take some time. So you basically want to make the function asynchronous. So here we can add async. So that was a typo from us, trying to use await without async. Okay, so this is basic JavaScript. One more time. So this is a regular problem in deploying, and I wanted to show you all the possible errors you may likely face. Otherwise I would have just cut it out of the video. So look at this, everything is working well for the first time. It said starting migration. Okay, it has done the migration. It said deploying token, transaction hash, you see, block 5, 6, and it's deploying. Isn't that beautiful? So beautiful to run your code without errors. Look at this. Okay, so gas price is 10 gwei. Okay, gas used is whatever, value 0 ETH, total cost, so it cost us 0.01 ETH, and blocks seconds 18. So this is all beautiful. It's like a work of art. Alright, so now our contract is deployed, alright, to the testnet. Let's copy the contract address. Okay, contract address, copy. Let's go check it online. Okay, so you go to bscscan website, so bscscan.com. so this is where you can verify and take a look at all contracts deployed to Binance Smart Chain. So on the home page you can see live contracts, okay, but we need to set it for testnet because we did not deploy to a live blockchain. So we didn't deploy to mainnet, we deployed to testnet. So we click testnet. So now our BSC scan is set to testnet. Now if you look at the top here, you see testnet.bscscan.com. You can easily visit it directly if you want. So here we can paste the contract address, and we'll click search, and boom, it shows us right. Okay, so we now have our contracts, and the details are available here. It says 7 minutes ago there was a deployment, and it's the creation of the contract 7 minutes ago. So as people do more and more transactions, we're going to see it here. It even tells us transaction fee. Okay, see transaction fee 0 BNB, contract creation. So and this went in, so there could be out and in here. So this is the website where you check to be sure that your contract was deployed successfully. Now if we had deployed to a live blockchain, like when you're convinced that your code is correct and everything works, it's gonna be exactly like this too, but now you can see transactions live as people send crypto to you in exchange for your coin. Like our BTT coin, people will send their BNB in exchange for a BTT. So if you click here, you can see kind of a hash of our contract. Okay, and a whole lot of things you can do here. All right, but let's get back to our console. Remember I told you we're going to try Truffle console. So let's run Truffle. We can interact with the smart contract using Truffle console. All right, we could stop here, but we can also tell it which of the smart contracts. BC testnet. Okay, so this is our BC testnet, and now we can write some code here. So usually code we can write in JavaScript, we can write it here to interact with the smart contract. Okay. Alright, so if you look at this, you will see truffle bsc.net, which means we are now in Truffle console. We can now start writing code for Truffle console. So basically this place has access to the codes we've written. So we have BTT token, so it has access even in the migrations here, so it knows we wrote about BTT token. So let's try some things to know whether we can have access to it from here. So we'll do const. So we declare a constant. I'm basically writing JavaScript, so we'll call it token or whatever you want. Then we do await. We'll do BTT token dot deployed. This is exactly the code we had here. Okay, you see. So we want to run it and see whether it's going to give us some details of our contracts. So come here, BTT token dot deployed, hit enter. Okay, so fine. It's okay to see. It's very okay to see undefined. So if we now do BTT token dot address and hit enter, it gives us the address of the deployed contract. So this confirms that your contract has been deployed. Okay, so in case you're wondering, BTT token. Okay, so this is what the smart contract we just made reference to. So let's check the smart contract for our crowd sale. So if we come here, we'll see that we did for token, and we also run a code for the crowd sale. So let's copy this code instead of typing it. So we copy, go to our command prompt in Truffle console, right click, paste. So we're declaring a variable called crowd sale, and we're assigning it to the deployed smart contract. Hit enter, and boom. Okay, now we can do crowd sale dot address. So the address of this smart contract. Okay, so now it gives us, it looks similar, but it's actually different. Look at 9F, this is 8F. Now the thing is, each smart contract is deployed to its own address. Okay, each smart contract is deployed to its own address in the blockchain. So now we're going to buy some tokens. So let's look at the contract that handles the buying of tokens from our crowd sale. Now if you look at inside node modules folder, remember when we checked out this crowd sale, and inside our BTT crowd sale we imported this. Okay, so this particular file has details on how we can buy, people can buy our tokens. So if we go to crowd sale, and there are so many functions here. I think I should close this. There are so many functions here. So at let's see. So there's a function called buy tokens. So now in buy tokens, it says that you have to provide the address, and then there has to be another validation where you provide the address and the amount that you need, and then the rest just happens. So this code was pre-written for us by Zeppelin, OpenZeppelin. Okay, so that's the amazing thing about using the plugin. So alright, so here let's try and we'll do buy some tokens, crowd sale. So you need what do you call it? You need some BNB in the address. So we'll say account, second account, the second account, comma. So buy tokens, we are accessing a crowd sale, and we're accessing the buy tokens function inside crowd sale. This function we're saying dot. So that's how once you instantiate a contract, you use the dot notation to access its functions. Okay. So and the functions you can accept must be marked public. That's basic smart contract. Like this one now, it's a convention that if you don't want something to be public, you start the name with underline. So whether it's a function or a variable, okay, you start it with an underscore, which means you have to mark it for internal use. Alright, so all these ones marked for internal use, as you can see, it's neatly started with an underscore. So it's just a convention. Doesn't mean that if you didn't start it with an underscore, it won't work. It will. Okay, but you can only access the ones that were marked with marked with public. Okay, the scope is public. So we have provided this. So here we're going to say value :5, and then from accounts. Okay, the second account, and then we'll open this and hit enter. So first things first, I think we have an error here in a syntax. So we're supposed to close this first. So I'll do curly bracelet, and yeah. Alright, so if there is enough ether, then this transaction will go through, otherwise it will fail. Okay, uncut insufficient funds for transfer, you see? Insufficient funds. So as I told you, it's just a question of having sufficient fund. Alright, fixing it is simple. Let's fix it. First of all, let's see the address itself. So we'll do accounts. In case you don't understand the code I wrote earlier, we're trying to buy, look at this, we're trying to buy 5 coins, okay? Alright, so but it's saying that this account at this location has insufficient funds. So let's see the account first. So we're just going to run accounts at location 1, we'll see. So this is it. So let's go to BSC scan faucets and then gain some BSC. Alright, So open BSC scan faucet. Do you remember? So I hope I still have it open. BSC scan faucet. Okay, I'll click on this. So the account, so we say give me BNB, 1 BNB, okay, and then we wait a few seconds, and this is it, 669, and 669 is funded. So we can come back here and try and run that again, and where is it? So this is the code. Hit enter, and a few seconds. Alright, now this has gone through, alright, and it's beautiful. So we're just gonna take the transaction hash, okay, transaction hash, you see, it is different from block hash and so on. So transaction hash, so copy your transaction hash, go to BSC scan, so go to BSC scan. So basically, for you to buy any of our coins, you have to have a BSC. So make sure that you select the testnet. So click, make sure you're in the testnet, or just visit directly testnet.bscscan.com, then paste, search, and so okay. So this will always tell you that you're in the testnet. And we said 2 minutes ago we did a transaction, and here we bought 5-way. So there was a transfer of 5-way from this account to this account. Okay, so and it was what transaction fee was $0.5. That's $0.50. Okay, so this is beautiful. Now let's go check the token balance of this account that did the transfer. All right, which is account at location 1. So if we come here, we can check, we can say await token balance of. So like I said, this is coming from our code. All right, it's coming from the files we imported. So inside here we can say accounts at location 1. So we're trying to check the balance of this account this way, and we say toString, so the result should be converted to string. So like I told you initially, this is basically JavaScript. We're just writing JavaScript here. I don't know how 0 entered here. This is what we mean. So this is basically JavaScript. Hit enter, and let's see the balance, 250. Okay, cool. So naturally, out of curiosity, let's do another transaction. We'll just press this. Instead of 5, let's say if we can buy 10. Then wait, okay, and then we wait a few seconds, connects to the testnet, and then our transaction is ready. Okay, cool. Transaction is ready, and it has gone through. Now let's check the balance again with up arrow, and then I'll see my last check. Hit enter, and boom, 750. Okay, so this guy has bought 750 of our BTT tokens. So if you had a JavaScript interface on your browser, this is how you're going to run some code that will manipulate and give you the results of your blockchain. Now let's check the total supply. Okay, so we'll do await token dot total supply. Okay, dot toString. Okay, hit enter, and boom, gives us the total supply.
So guys, that's exactly how to write your own token sales script. Determine how many tokens you want, and then determine the initial price of your tokens, and launch it to a testnet or a live one using a Binance and Binance chain, and then that's just it. But the next video will show you how to get an already built platform complete. If you're wondering how to do that, completely built platform, and check my channels for other tutorials. Alright guys, before we continue, I just want to let you know that if you are looking for already made scripts instead of writing this whole thing by yourself, we have already written scripts and a website, completely built platforms for launching your own cryptocurrency in minutes. Okay, so you download our script, you buy a domain name and the hosting, and you upload it there, and you're ready. All right, everything is already working perfectly. So I'm just gonna quickly show you one of the scripts we have. The rest you can get them in the link below. All right, there's a link below. Even plugins for your WordPress platforms and mobile apps for your crypto platforms, we've done all that for you. So if you want to launch your own cryptocurrency right away, just use the link below and you will get this. So we have this one. I'm going to show you has an admin demo. There's a customer demo for your customers to come and buy your tokens. All right, and then there's a website where they will see details of your token before buying it. Okay, so and of course you can test out the demo and be sure before you buy, but follow the link below and get it. So I'm going to quickly show you through this. The first one is the landing page where your customers land and then they see that you're selling your token. So everything already done. So the name of your token already done, everything. Okay, how many days, minutes, hours remaining for you to sell, the page, token team, details, blog, contact page. They can log in or register or read your white paper. All right, and the whole page already set up. You just have to edit these numbers and set it to yours, change these write-ups. Okay, so once they click login or register, they land on the customer demo page, and then there's an admin page. So let me show you through the admin page. So look at the admin dashboard. Everything here, there is KYC. Users can upload their international passport, their driver's license for identity purpose, so that you can be in compliance with the laws of many countries. There is a two-factor authentication. All right, you can lodge your ICO, do some settings, website settings. There's referral program, so that once your ICO launches, people can refer their friends and gain more of your coins and tokens. There's a mailing list settings, multiple payment methods, so many different, even credit card. Okay, and then there's an API for this that you can use for your mobile apps. I told you there are mobile apps and a whole lot of things. There you can use multiple languages, so you can launch your token in many different countries at the same time. Now you can monitor transactions and how many Ethereum has been spent in your platform and a whole lot of things. You can monitor them, and the total number of users. Okay, how many users came last week and signed up, amount collected. Okay, this is 5 point something million. You can see everything here. How many in Litecoin? You can use so many different cryptocurrencies. You can accept so many cryptocurrencies as payment methods. Okay, then you can accept fiat, which is your regular USD. People can pay you using USD, Euro, or GBP. Okay, everything done here, everything already working perfectly. Okay, you don't need to hire a developer. Now, if you don't know how to host your own website, then you can hire a developer or reach out to me. I'll put my WhatsApp number in the description section below. Just click on it and then reach out on WhatsApp. Once you have got this script, make sure you already have this script. Okay, everything you have got it and you have it ready, then I can set it up for you. Okay, so let's get back to what we were doing. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications on this channel.
I remember we had one with 18 zeros. Okay,